Hello, Nolan. Hey, you have some really good material here. There's some great writing, some great moves are happening. There are a few things that I have suggestions on, and hopefully I'll be able to articulate them in a way that you'll be able to follow along and understand what I am trying to say. So again, a lot of really good material. Um, a few things that I think would help or that need a little bit of revision would be maybe the opening and just connecting everything to your thesis. Okay, connecting all of this great material to your thesis. So let me explain. Again, you have some good points. As I'm reading these first couple sentences, however, I'm a little confused right out of the gates. Okay, it opens with most of the US population today believes a shortage of trust exists in government and among each other that impacts the nation's ability to solve current issues. And so that's quite specific and without any, I don't know, earlier commentary or earlier writing that creates kind of a broad opening or establishes more of the context. I'm a little confused. So you might want to open with something general about trust. Okay, how trust is rare, or something about trust, and lead to this point where you're talking about the shortage of trust in the US. And the way this is mentioned, shortage of trust exists in government. Do you mean of the government? I'm not sure about that. And a piling phenomenon. I'm not sure exactly what you mean by piling. Do you mean like a growing phenomenon within our sea of distrust? Is the elevated distrust affecting marginalized groups? And again, it's just a few of the verbs are throwing me off. Distrust affecting, that mean, are you saying distrust of marginalized groups or distrust within marginalized groups, or what kind of affecting do you mean right there? So just clarify those, make open a little bit more broadly to kind of invite the reader into the general context, then start narrowing in on the different aspects of trust. Then you have these really good graphs right here, these really good pie charts. I would suggest that maybe you switch places with the rest of this paragraph. So I'm thinking this is the same paragraph. This is meant to be as the same paragraph since this is only two sentences and it doesn't quite establish the whole idea. But this down here, it does a really good job of clarifying that idea and leading to your thesis statement. So I wouldn't interrupt that. I would maybe move this content up here and attach it to this opening paragraph and then refer to the Pew Research Center, the information in the charts below. Okay. Once we get down here, though, it is so easy to understand. And right here, I see this really clear thesis statement. It is important that medical clinicians understand the phenomenon of medical mistrust among marginalized groups and engage in solutions to ameliorate this distrust as it disproportionately affects these groups and their health. That's a great thesis statement. And that tells me that the main opinion concerns medical clinicians, that they understand this phenomenon of medical mistrust among marginalized groups. That thesis needs to be the anchor throughout the essay, and it needs to be mentioned. It needs to be, the content of the essay needs to be connected to this thesis in every sentence. Okay, I'm sorry, every paragraph. So as we go in here, I read you. You have a strong voice in this opening paragraph. Yet that voice is a little bit hidden in the following few paragraphs when you start talking about the studies. And so this paragraph, in various studies concerning minorities, you turn immediately to the studies, which is fine. Okay, it would be better if it opened with a more of a topic sentence, but that's kind of a topic sentence, and then you get into the different studies. However, this one also, okay, focuses on the studies and in that synthesis. And this history of mistreatment and discrimination in the medical world has led to elevated rates. So this is all, those kind of really source heavy, kind of from the Lit Review, which is fine, and finally, experts indicate solutions. Okay, so all of these focus on the information that you brought out from the lit review, just describing what this distrust is and kind of what the experts say about medical mistrust among the marginalized groups. However, none of these are connected to the medical clinicians and the importance of them understanding. So you need to go in here and just connect this information continually to that point, to that thesis. Okay, before you move on to the next point, so that it doesn't feel like, okay, here's Nolan in the beginning, and then Nolan disappears within these next few paragraphs, next 4 paragraphs, and then he comes back again. Okay, so you need to, this includes really good information. Just connect these points in these 4, that's it, 1, 2, 3, 4 paragraphs. Connect it to your thesis. Connect it to those clinicians. Okay, what does this information have to do with them? What are they supposed to do with that information, right? So keep that in mind. Connect everything to that. Now, this isn't mentioned in here, and since it's not mentioned, it just seems more decorative. So you might want to mention this. I don't know, it looks like a Wordle, but I'm not sure what it comes from, what made this. Usually a Wordle is generated from some type of document, and the larger words, reflect that document, that the emphasis or the repeated words in that document. So I don't know if you want to mention it so that it's a little bit more integrated into the essay rather than just kind of stuck there. But as you come down here as a part of my research, yay, there you are again. This is fantastic. And you might want to explain here again what your research is, just to clarify, just to guide the reader along, just to make sure that they know what you're doing or how to move through this article. And again, make sure that you use the keywords from your thesis so that your reader continually has those stitches, that tie everything together. But this interview is fantastic. And again, right here at the end, don't end by turning to those experts. Yes, we did that in a lit review, but this is not a lit review. This is your article, okay? Rather than saying experts have reliably found medical distrust to be elevated, take this out, okay? Medical distrust is elevated among marginalized populations. That's your argument, right? Don't hide behind the experts now. This is your argument. So they advise, okay? Take this out. Take that out. This mistrust, this needs to be monitored closely by clinicians as it strips efficacy away from treatments and blah, blah, blah. Okay, so take these hedges out, or these directions that connect these points to the experts and away from you. Okay, this is your argument now. Make sure your voice is prominent. Okay, other than those little things, like I said, there is so much good information. So much good information. So just kind of invite the reader into this essay a little bit more, through a little bit more broad opening. I would connect these 2 paragraphs, move these great pie charts down below them, and then connect these synthesized reviews of literature to your essay a little bit more, to your thesis, a little bit more, and then moving into that great interview. And then again here, make sure that your voice is prominent. Take these phrases out that connect your argument to the experts. This is now your argument, okay? Great job, Nolan. Let me know if you have any other questions.